Executed and pressed to death, kings evil and jaw fallen. What are these things that kill people in 1632? Episode 2, I'm telling you. French pox. Let's start off by me asking you to think about any terms that you know in the English language where you put French in front of something. French kissing, pardon my French, French pox. Why is that? Because we fell out with the French for like 1,000 years. We were constantly at war with them. We get along with them quite well now, but we didn't used to. So what have all of these things got in common? Basically, you're saying that the French are vulgar. So pardon my French, because I just swore, French kissing is not a peck on the cheek, is it? It's when you have kissed someone properly, when you've snogged them. So when you look at French pox, you can now probably guess what that is. That's syphilis, that's an STI. That is the French pox. Fistula, we still see and treat these today. Basically, two things that should be separate are now connected. So think when you've had a baby, if there's trauma, you can get poo going into like bladder or into the vagina, or if someone's got a cancer and it's eating through stuff. So basically, you've got two things being connected that shouldn't be. Pressed to death. What does this mean? So effectively, if you didn't tell people things, they would put big stones on you until you died. And what's really depressing about this is how many people this happened to. 18 people in a year just in London. That's awful. Let's move on to jaw fallen. So what do you think this means? Lockjaw. Tetanus. So this is tetanus. So 8 people died of tetanus in this year. Impostume. Love this one because I'm a surgeon. So this is basically an abscess. So an abscess will, if it's not treated, could progress to sepsis, so a blood infection, and could kill you. What you need, or what they should have, and some of them were doing this in these days, is basically to cut it open and let it drain out, let the infection drain. But without antibiotics, they might well have got really poorly and died. Now, king's evil, I love this. So obviously in those days they tended to believe, not all of them, but some of them believed that the king was appointed by divine right. So he was mortal like you or I, but he kind of belonged to God. He had divine right, which is why when Charles I is executed, people want to dip handkerchiefs in his blood because they think that it has a magic power to it, just like the court of the relics. Now, king's evil is where you have TB, but that TB has kind of spread to the skin and it's kind of in the lymph nodes, it's cutaneous. And what they believed is that that could be cured by a touch from their king. So it became known as king's evil. Now, this is the end of episode 2. If you haven't seen episode 1, check that out. We will be doing the rest of this list tomorrow in episode 3. And if you enjoy this sort of content, do check out my YouTube channel, DrLauren-Jane, because I've got loads of videos that I think you'll enjoy. Which of these do you least want? Because I'm kind of thinking it's the pressed to death one, right?